promised you would release the records of the JFK assassination. He said to me, Judge, if they showed you what they showed me.
Hello, YouTubers. Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in today. I hope you're having a great start to your week, and I hope that you had a great weekend. I went out to smell the roses this weekend, and we went on what I call luxury camping with my 1991 Jamboree. Now check this out real quick before we even start. Let's goof off for a little bit. This is what luxury camping is all about. I'm not sure if you just saw Karma there sitting on the driver's seat, but after we had everything set up, I was like, man, this isn't really camping, is it? Because here I have my ice machine, as you can see on the left side of this table, and I also have my new reverse osmosis machine from SIMPURE that can actually cool down water all the way to like 43 degrees. And I'll tell you what, this was the hit of this camping adventure, because everyone kept coming to the ice machine, and when the ice ran out, it only took a few more minutes to do a new batch. They had cold water to drink all weekend long. So we had a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you go out there and smell the roses now and then. No, you don't have to have an ice machine, but man, it's just a lot of fun. That's one of those things that's like a talking point, right? Because I remember when I had everything set up, my buddy that we were camping next to, he said, "What is that?" I was like, "That's an ice machine." He's like, "You got to be kidding me. You brought an ice machine camping?" And I said, "Yeah, wouldn't you like some ice?" Absolutely. And then when his wife saw the SIMPURE reverse osmosis machine, and I was like, "You want some cold water?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll just put some ice over." I was like, "No, this machine gives you cold water." She was like, "You gotta be kidding me." Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the video that we're going to talk about today. Now, I was thinking about this, and I've mentioned this in the past, that one of the big problems that I had with 45 when he was actually president is that he never released the Kennedy assassination papers. And I was like, why did he not? And then I saw, and I was very upset at that he didn't release it. But I was even more upset when I heard of Judge Napolitano, Andrew Napolitano, who is a good friend of 45/47. And he said, "Yep, I had a meeting with him. We had lunch or whatever it was." And I asked him, "Why did you not release the Kennedy papers? You said that you would."
You know, you made a promise to the public many times and to me privately that you haven't kept. What? I'll take care of it right now. I said, you promised you would release the records of the JFK assassination. He said to me, "Judge, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't have released it either." And I said, "Who's they and what did they show you?" And then he said, "Judge, someday when we're on the phone," and then he raised his voice, "and there aren't 15 people listening to the phone call," back to a normal voice, "I'll tell you."
Oh my God.
I mean, this makes it sound even worse. Who are they? Probably somebody in the intelligence community. What did they show him? JFK's brains blown out?
And that really upset me, because who is anyone to say what the American people are ready for or not? Those papers belong to the American people, to the taxpayers, and they should have been released a long time ago. So it got me to thinking, imagine if the worst would have happened to President Trump. Who would have released his papers? And that is why any president that's in office who's a good person, who's there for the people, should make sure that the government is as transparent as possible. Because with all of the questions that are going on right now, and with all of the revelations of his failed assassination attempt, if we had those Kennedy papers to take a look at, maybe more people that will never wake up, maybe more people that will never believe the truth as it is in front of them, maybe with those papers they would be like, man, could it really be, ladies and gentlemen, that it was mere incompetence, that it took so long for the Secret Service to do their jobs and protect Donald Trump? Well, how do we know when we are kept from knowing the truth of the past? At this point, there is a growing consensus that either the Secret Service was grossly incompetent or some sort of very insidious plan was being carried out. Bobby Chacon, a former FBI agent, shared his confusion that the rooftop had not been secured considering how close it was to the stage. Now, anyone, ladies and gentlemen, even a civilian can look and say, you're telling me that they didn't secure that rooftop that was only 130 yards away from the president at that time? Now, anyone that knows anything about an AR-15 or even a military-grade M16, M4, they have an effective range, if I remember right, of about 600 meters, and that's with iron sights. So 130 yards, ladies and gentlemen, as they're telling us, it is by divine intervention, in my opinion, that Donald J. Trump is alive today. God saved his life. Not that he moved a little bit, it was God that moved for him. Trump stock saw record shorts the day before assassination attempt. Were investors tipped off? Why would these high interest groups be shorting Donald J. Trump stocks just the day before? They didn't show any interest a month before or a year before to be shorting that stock, but the day before of this incident, all of a sudden they started shorting it, and not for a few bucks. Had Trump been assassinated, Rothschild, BlackRock, Vanguard, the Bushes and Cheneys stood to gain $696 billion and up to $1 trillion in profits. It turns out that the stock was shorted rather heavily the day before the assassination attempt. In fact, short positions against the stock doubled between 1 and 12 July, from 7 to 15 million shares, marking a share shorting record for the stock since it made its NASDAQ debut. What did they know that the average person didn't know? Come on, Nancy. Tell us. I'm sure that you know. Insider trading, unfortunately, is allowed for people in Congress and the Senate, where it is a crime for we the people to conduct in that behavior. Just like, I know I'm going on a little rant here, but I'm going to go with it. Just like printing money. The government can print all the money it wants, right? What is that? It's called counterfeiting. Right? When you print money out of thin air. But anyways, I digress. This means that the number of businesses or individuals were anticipating a considerable drop in the value of the stock by Monday, July 15th, which very well could have happened had Trump died as a result of the shooting. This is prompting concerns that there may have been people with advanced knowledge of a plot against him that was expected to be carried out over the weekend, and that these people were looking to profit from it. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you think that maybe something has gone awry that we, the American people, should know about instead of having it locked up for the next 50 years? That is why I was so opposed to President Trump then, when he was 45, not sharing with us those papers from the Kennedy files. Did Trump's shooter have help? I'm sure you've all heard the same stuff that I've heard, that there were police officers and agents securing the building, the inside of the building of where the shooter was laying atop, that the excuses that were given by the Secret Service director, I believe, I forget her name, that the roof was too sloped. God forbid if a Secret Service agent, supposed to be the best of the best in bodyguards, right, can't handle being on a sloped roof. This is their job. This is what they do. So when it really counts, we should be able to know what went on. This should not be sealed for 50 years. When Donald Trump gets back in office, he needs to release everything, ladies and gentlemen. That is the only way that the corruption from within will be flushed out, when we the people can actually see the grievances that they have portrayed against us for all of these years. Why are central banks purchasing gold still, ladies and gentlemen? Because the economy is so great. I was talking to a friend of mine about this during the weekend. I said, listen, I know I've talked to you about this a while back, but I know you didn't listen to me. You need to go and start getting yourself a little bit of silver every now and then, every payday. You know, the same spiel that I give you all when I say every payday, go get 1 ounce of silver. If you can't afford an ounce, get a dime, get a silver dime, get something. every payday. Make it a habit. I'm not a financial advisor. Make it a habit so that you can then be able to secure some wealth, some purchasing power to the side, away from the greedy hands of the government that do nothing but decrease your purchasing power through their power of inflation. So check this out. Banks are inflating the money supply, making the money worth less. And when I say money, I mean the fiat currency. And then they're taking some of that money that they print out of thin air that make your money worth less. They go out and buy gold with it. Central banks purchase gold to offset their own money destruction. Why is the price of gold rising if the global economy is not in recession and inflation is allegedly under control? This is a question often heard in investment circles, and I will try to answer it, they say. Well, I'll tell you why the price of gold is answering without going through this entire article, of which I will leave the link to all of these articles on a pinned comment, ladies and gentlemen. The price of gold is rising is because it takes more dollars to buy them. That's why, because it takes more dollars to buy gold. That's why the price of gold is rising. Now, the question is why does it take more dollars to buy gold now? Because gold hasn't changed. 1 troy ounce of gold is still equal to 31.10 grams of gold. Gold has not changed chemically. It hasn't changed fundamentally, except that people are now starting to wake up that gold is one of the few things that will preserve their purchasing power. Thank you to the sponsor of this video, Genesis Gold Group. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. You can transfer your IRA over to a gold or silver IRA, and you can also go and buy physical from them, whichever suits you best, ladies and gentlemen. And I always advocate that you go ahead and check 4, 5, maybe even more companies against any company that I introduce here on this channel. Why? Because competition is the best for you, the consumer. So go check out Genesis Gold Group for any of your precious metals needs, but always compare them to a few more. That way you yourself know that you're making the best choice for you. Now, these are the little stories that we mostly miss because the mainstream media will keep them away from your eyes. But take a look at this headline. Wife of Max Boot, all right, the leading Trump-Russia hoax propagandist, indicted and accused of serving as a foreign spy. And these were the people that were providing, in my opinion, of course, these were the people that were providing the information that was used to publicly crucify Trump with information that we are now finding out was 100% a lie. House Speaker Johnson is going to fix everything. He's going to open a probe into the Trump assassination attempt and Secret Service lapses. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is going to be all right because House Speaker Johnson said so. Except, I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see any of the findings that they come up with. I hope I'm 100% wrong, but they're probably going to keep the really good stuff behind closed doors, maybe for the next 50 years. So don't plan on hearing about it. And anytime that I can do a little beating up on the climate change agenda, I do. The climate change agenda and Rockefeller's front men. So I didn't know that the Rockefellers were the ones that started this climate change nonsense. Well, nonsense for us, really. For them, it's just a way to derive the wealth from the world's humanity. Now listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. The Rockefellers have created 990 climate change activist organizations. They give them directions and financing and launched them into the world. The Green Movement was started, financed, organized, and militarized by the Rockefellers. So don't ever believe everything that you hear from the mainstream media because there is a 100% agenda behind it, and it's not in your favor. Because if it was in your favor, then they wouldn't want to be charging you tax after tax after tax, just like right here in Denmark. $3.7 billion carbon tax that's going to cost the farmers $100 per head of cattle. And what's that's going to transfer to? Is going to transfer to you spending more money to get your beef on your table. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because in my opinion, these people hate humanity. You are a useless eater to them, and only they matter, and those that they want to keep around, not you. So continue to get prepared. because you're going to need your preps eventually. And if you're still here during this part of the video, I want to say thank you very much. I know that my videos are sometimes all over the place, especially my news videos, and I really do enjoy sharing a little bit of my personal life with you, like the beginning of this video, so I hope that you don't mind that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your support. I truly do hope that you got something out of this. If you want to support what I do, just take a look at the links that I provide on the description of my videos. The links are usually often accompanied with savings coupon codes if you're interested in purchasing that item anyways. And also go and join up on my email list so that Nutrient Survival can give away these prizes that they have hanging over my head as soon as we hit, I think it's like 2,250 people on the email list. We're about halfway there. Go join the email list. It'll enter you to win one of 3 very nice prizes. And in addition to that, if we do hit the mark, Nutrient Survival is going to offer us the very biggest discount code that they've offered anyone since their inception. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.